Let's go.
All right, so in this one little box is everything you need to build the this is the Rascal GT drag kit with the aluminum wheels, specially for drag racing. So let's get this thing unboxed. We'll walk you through all the parts in this kit and then we'll slap it together. This box is pretty sweet. It is custom for the Rascal GT and it works really well with this kit because everything in the kit fits in this box. So this is the front tire. Seat fits in real nice. Forks, super light rear tire. Handlebars. This seems like a tiny kit.
It does.
But everything is small, compact. All the parts, everything fits in these two little bitty boxes. Always be careful cutting into boxes. We pack these up pretty well, but you don't want your knife to fly all the way in there and cut something. Brake kit. And this is like the hardware and all the little pieces. Everything in this little bag. Hubs for the rear wheel. Thumb throttle kit. Front hub. Risers for the handlebars. Axles and neck bolt. Stabilizer. Sprocket adapter and pegs. Dude, this boxes up really, really nice. He protected these wheels super well. Front wheel in the rear. These are packaged awesome.
Oh, look how that's clean. Clean packaging.
Stabilizer. This is packaged really well too. It's all in the foam. Thumb throttle. And two different cables. Perfect. I'm making sure everything is here before we get going. It's on the product page, so you can see everything that you're getting, and everything is in the pictures as well. But in the link of this video, just go down there, click on the link to the Rascal GT drag kit, and it'll take you straight to it. First thing we're gonna do is mount the tires onto the wheels. So we will start with the rear. So in this kit, you can choose between either the 10.5, 4.5, 6, which is a Unili slick tire. And then we also have a 13.5/6. So you choose between those two. Our guys here at the shop have been using this shorter one. I know lots of other guys prefer a 13, so it's just kind of preference. You'll kind of compensate for that with your gearing. So I always make sure you take off any sticker that's on the inside of the wheel. If you look at the wheel, there's a long side and then this short side before it drops off. It's gonna be easier to mount it starting with this side because then your tire can drop down in here easier, and it's just really the only way to do it. So we're gonna soap up the tire, and you want it all along the outside and the inside. Do the same thing on the wheel. So that side's pretty easy, as you can see. Now your valve stem on this bike is going to be on the brake disc side, which makes a lot of sense. Easier to get at your valve stem. So you couldn't really see what was going on there, but you have to kind of compress the center of the tire and work the tire all the way down to the middle of the wheel. That gives you the room to push it on all the way around. If you just leave the tire way up here, you're never going to get it on. You got to work it down into the direct center of the wheel. While it's still kind of wet, let's go ahead and air it up. Perfect. I always check to see if the valve stem is leaking. So put some soap in there. Wait for a second. If it was leaking, this will be bubbling like crazy. So valve stem is good. If you do have a leak there, just get a valve stem tool and tighten it up. I'm going to leave these up fairly high just to make sure everything sits in here nice and you don't have any leaks. Okay, that tire is done. Now for this one. Don't forget the stickers. That was pretty simple. Get it to air up. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna have to pop the core out and shoot air right in it. Nice.
So what'd you do there?
Removing the core and shooting air straight in it just gives you a lot more air pressure shooting in the tire.
And what tool is that they use to?
Just a valve stem tool. They make them all different kinds. Again, check for a leak. We are good. So with these hubs, we like to use 5/16 bolts. These will run through each hub and the wheel. These wheels come with 1/4-inch holes for go-kart racing. So we need to drill these out to 5/16. If you have a drill press, I would recommend doing it on there so you can get it as straight as possible. A lot of you guys I know don't do it, so I'm just gonna do it with a drill and show you how simple it is. 5/16. So you want to get the drill, you know, you don't want to come in at a severe angle. So really hold it up, make sure you're good. I like to go slow with a lot of downward pressure. Same thing, get it as straight as you possibly can. So if you have a drill press, I would recommend doing this before you put the tire on. If you're using a drill, it's a lot easier to keep the wheel steady if you have the tire already on it. So you're gonna have some burrs after you drill through there. Use a little deburr tool or a knife and get them all cleaned up. Now, next step, we're gonna put all of these bearings into the wheel hubs. These are 1/2 inch ID, 1 3/8 OD. We're gonna use our little press to get them in here. Tolerances are so tight. When I wanted this shoulder thicker, but you just can't do it and make everything work. So you have to drive these in perfectly straight. You can use the axle. So get this side in first that has the thicker wall on it. Flip it over, put the bearing on your axle, put it through, and then tap it in. But you gotta make sure you put them in perfectly straight or this can warp. Follow me over here, Bernie. Nice press, feels real good. That's perfect. Beautiful. So the 2 rear hubs are done. Now we gotta get, so these come with 5/8 bearings. We have to get these out and put in these 1/2 inch. As you can see, these usually tap out pretty easy. Perfect. That's how you put them in by hand, if you have to put them in by hand. I'm gonna use the press on this other one. It's feel good. After beating on them like that, make sure you don't have any burrs. So we're gonna set up the rear first. So you're gonna take this shorter hub, always go around it and make sure it's perfectly smooth. Because if you have any burrs or anything in here, it's gonna throw off really your whole wheel assembly. That just goes just like that. And that's gonna be your brake disc side on the valve stem. And your other hub goes on the other side. Oh yeah. So on these hubs, you have 1/4 inch. So you can use 1/4 inch if you want, but I like to just put the 5/16 bolts in here. So we have 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8. If you're using our 5/16 bolts that come in the kit, make sure you use the 5/16 hole. Let's get them started by hand. As you see, I got all the bolts running through the whole wheel. Make sure you're using the 5/16 holes. It goes right on. These are the flanged serrated nuts, which is nice because you really don't even have to get in there and hold them with a wrench. So you just come in on this side and tighten up the bolt head side. So snug them all up first. Don't tighten one side all the way. Snug them up even. Beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and put on the brake disc. Fits right on there. Now on these, you have M8 125 holes and 6 mil. We are going to use the 6 with the shorter stainless steel bolts. These are 15 mil long. Probably not a terrible idea to put a little blue Loctite on these. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. Oh, I forgot to say also, so on our website, we've got all the hardware for this rear wheel in titanium, which is pretty sweet. We've got the 5/16 bolts and then all of these M6 bolts in titanium. We will be sure to put that in the description of this video.
Why would somebody want to go titanium?
Light.
Just super light.
Light. And pretty dang strong. But the biggest thing is it is way lighter than steel or stainless steel hardware. We're gonna go ahead and put these in. Now we do not ship a sprocket with this kit because we don't know if you're doing 3/30, 1/8, quarter, just cruising. So be sure to order a sprocket. Well, you could use the 420 split sprockets or the 35 split sprockets. Probably want the 35, but we'll put that in the description too. And then we've got all the way from 53 to I think 80. I'm putting this on the lowest setting. That goes on here. So on this side, since this is thicker, we use the 25 millimeter long stainless bolts. And again, this is the same thing as the brake side. We got the M8 125 holes and the M6. So if you strip them out, if you break some, if you just want to change it up and run maybe 3 M8s instead of the 6 mil, you can do that. I'm not using an impact on these because some of our customers have used an impact with it full bore and stripped all these out. So I like to do these by hand and always snug them up in a cross pattern. And then tighten all the way. Rear wheel is complete, and this is just a beautiful setup. I'll show you once we get it on the bike. You know, it's not the lightest setup in the world, but it is super true. It spins really, really well. And you're on 4 bearings with this setup. So it is really smooth, really durable. It's been holding up really good. And on this wheel, on the front, you know, on a go-kart, they go like that. We like to put it all the way through this way, so it's more centered in your wheel since we're doing a mini bike. And sometimes these wheels can have little burrs. So if you have to, take a round file and just go over. So the studs will go through like this. And again, this is on the lowest setting. If you don't have an adjustable impact, I would do these by hand. Beautiful, front and rear. All right, now you ready to start building a mini bike?
Yeah.
We're gonna get the frame and the forks over here. We'll put the forks on first. We'll probably actually do a bunch of the bike before we turn it into a roller, because all this stuff is light. It's easy to move around. So forks, bars, start working our way back, and then we'll put the tires and wheels on. So before driving in these bushings, the neck bushings, always, always, always check for burrs. Sometimes there's a little burr that'll land on the face or on the edges in here. So clean this up. That feels good. This is a good example. You want to zoom in over here? See if you can pick that up. That will, I mean, these are super, super soft, so it probably wouldn't even affect anything, but might as well just take a file and hit that burr. Now it is gone. Perfect. These can get a little stiff when you're lining them up together. Perfect. Now there's tolerances in these necks and in the forks. If you can see this play in here, that's why we supply a few washers in the kit. I always put one on the head of the bolt, and then it looks like we're gonna need one down here, which will take up all the slack. Two 3/4 inch wrenches, or if you have to use like a 19, that will work as well. I snug it up until it's tight, like I cannot move it. That's pretty good. You don't want to feel resistance, but these will wear in some. That feels nice. We're gonna do the risers and the handlebars. If you look in these kits, you have a super long bolt for, like, if you're putting these on like our premium front end with the super thick triples, you'll use the longer one. But on this one, we use the short. And then if you look at these risers, the hole is offset towards one side. So you can play around with that on your bar offset, however you like it. You can bring them back closer, flip it around, or put them further away. For this one, I'm gonna go like that.
That's what makes the GT so dope. So many different ways you can mount stuff.
Customizable.
Yeah, super modular.
So I'm really just snugging these. I'm not getting them tight. I'll do the final tightening after the handlebars are in here. I know that they're perfectly straight and in line with each other. Then I'll go in and tighten these up. So I know that our guys next door like for the bars to kind of be angled up at them. So that's how I'm gonna do these. And you do wanna get measurements side to side to make sure they're perfectly centered in the bike. I'm just gonna get these started. Then we'll measure side to side and center them up and tighten them down. And turn them up. Yeah, that looks good. I think right there's pretty good. We're good up and down. So I'm just snugging these up too, making sure the handlebars are just seated all the way in there. And then tighten these. Perfect. Let's get this front tire in there. These are all the supplied spacers in the kit. Oh, that's perfect. Gorgeous. So we have 3 25 mil long spacers per side. So in this kit you get 7 25 mil long and 1 20. You're going to use 6 of those longer ones on the front. If you can see here, it works out perfect. Front tire and wheels perfectly centered. Spacing looks great. Now there's no crush sleeve in this wheel. See how it's not spinning like really good? Mm-hmm. And this is a lock nut. We're gonna loosen it just a hair. Much better. Okay, so now we're gonna do top plate, tank, and then keep working back. So you have 2 8mm bolts in here. Those are gonna be for your brake caliper. So set the 8 mils over there with the brake. Then you've got these 5/16 bolts that we're gonna use for this whole setup. So this sits right on top, nice and flush, clean look, super light. And you've got these brackets, they go up under here for the tank. I like to hold the tank up here and see which way my brackets need to go. So they both need to point towards the rear like that. So I just snug these so that you can still move your plate around some and center it, and these will spin a hair to make sure you line it up good with your tank. Keep an eye on your clamps. I think you can see down in there. Make sure the hose clamp is all the way up, not falling off the back of these little brackets. So right now everything's just kind of snugged, so I can move the tank around a bit. So I like to have this perfectly centered in the top plate, and then also make sure the top plate is centered on the frame. That looks good. Tank looks good. Good. Now we can tighten these up. Okay, so now that all that's tight, same with the front, let's do the stabilizer. So we've got 2 more 5/16 bolts in this kit. Shorter one is gonna go up here. So we're gonna go lock washer, lock washer, through there. And then this clamp. And you're gonna have to play around with your spacing some on this, but you know you're gonna go lock washer through there, lock washer. And on this, so you want the handlebars straight. Let's go ahead and tighten this one up. So let's get the handlebars as straight as possible, the whole fork.
Like, you want to be this precise because you're going 70, 80 miles an hour down the drag strip.
You're going pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, you want your stabilizer to be dialed in. You want the same amount of play both ways. You want this to be centered on both sides with your fork straight, or else it'll turn more one way than the other. Go one more. Okay, all that's tight. Now, recheck. That looks good. Pretty close. Tighten up the clamp. So forks are straight, same amount of play on both sides of the stabilizer. It's perfectly centered. Then you can tighten up the clamp. Nice. That looks good. What now, Bernie? Let's do pegs. Let's do pegs. My guys like this rear hole on the middle bracket. Some guys will want them somewhere up front, back here. It's really all up to you and your riding style. If you're cruising, you know, put them up here so you're a little more comfy. So if you do want to cut weight off this thing, if you're not using these at all, feel free to cut them off. Don't cut into the tube. If you are cutting these off, please be very, very careful. You don't want to just start going crazy with a grinder and cut, you know, big slots into this tube. That definitely compromises the integrity. So you've got these nice stainless steel bolts, lock washer, flat washer. Lock washer first, flat washer. They're M8 bolts, so you need the 6mm Allen. Starting to look like a mini bike.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and put on the chain roller. So with this roller, it's the same one we send with the GT Cruiser. And there are several spacers to really dial in to your sprocket on both your clutch and your wheel. So as a general rule, you'll use all 3 washers and this, which is perfectly sized to the bearing. So you get no drag, it just rides on that inner race. So you have tensioning slots here for your engine to move back and forth. Then you also have this chain roller that can tension as well. If you have some weird sprocket combo or something that you just can't get tension for some reason, you can use this in any of these holes. You can move this thing all over on this rear bracket. Got the kickstand. I don't know if there's a good way to film this. There you go. Can you see?
Yeah.
I mean, we've done this on so many videos.
So many.
Scroll through all our videos, give us some likes and comments while you're trying to find this more detailed video on this thing. Well, basically, you just put your little pin through the hole all the way, and then your cotter pin. Put it around where it won't come out. Okay, it's definitely not coming out. Now the spring is on that little bracket. Boom.
Boom.
Billet, thumb throttle. I know this is a matter of debate on whether thumb throttle or twist is better, faster. It's really just preference, whatever you're more comfortable with. This is a pretty sweet kit. Comes with 2 different cables. So if you're using like a 32 or a 34, one of the large size carburetors, you're gonna use the cable that has more throw. Let's lay these out so they can see. So the shorter throw, it'll be for your 22s, 26s, 24, 28. This longer one works really well with 32, 33, 34. Actually 32, 34, 33's the whole different throttle setup. So that's what makes this kit really nice. And then you have the clamp-on grips. They will not twist or move once they're on there. And also you have even more adjustability because we have this nice billet piece that goes in here. So if you've got something super long slide in it, you can not even use this, but all of our setups, we use this.
The adjustability is needed, I guess, when you're drag racing, because you're always going to be changing things.
There's no telling what setup somebody's gonna have. And this is all stainless steel hardware, which is pretty nice. It has a throttle stop right there. So if you do not have a throttle stop of any kind built into your throttle or your thumb throttle, you can snap cables, which if you're at the line and you're ready to make your pass and your cable snaps, you're done. So get this stop dialed in to your setup. Pull the filter off the carburetor, go wide open throttle, make sure your slide's all the way up, then set this. So let's go with the short throw. Oh, duh. Pretty simple. We got the cable in there.
Nice.
And since we're not setting this for anything, I already jammed that down by hand. Jam that down by hand. Now we're just gonna put the cap back on. And this has a pretty nice little rubber seal, so you won't get any dust or dirt or anything in here that'll affect its smoothness. These are little bitty screws, so please be careful putting these back in. These are stainless steel bolts, but you know, you're threading them into aluminum, so just be careful. Once you feel them bottom out, just go a hair more. See the shape? See the shape? Match it up. Slide them on, clamp them.
Simple puzzle piece.
Simple. These are pretty sweet. I like this whole setup.
Yeah.
These are already like a fairly snug fit on the 7/8, so you don't have to go crazy. Good, that's not twisting. Just for uniformity, put them on the same way. The thumb throttle, you're just gonna have to kind of play with it and get it where you like the angle. Since you're sitting way up and leaning over, you probably want this fairly angled.
You want to talk about what's gonna happen to this after we build this roller kit?
Yes, so stay tuned for video 2. We're gonna be getting it ready to sit in the Tillotson booth at the PRI show, which is like a performance racing show up in Indianapolis. So for the second video in this series, we're gonna tear this. Well, first, really look at it, compare it to a T4 Tillotson go-kart frame, and we're gonna try to have it match as good as we can. So frame's probably gonna be like a blue, kind of like a light blue, and then we'll have some red accents going throughout. Me and Bernie really got to brainstorm on that and figure out how to make it look close to a T4 racing frame. Some chrome, because a lot of their pieces have a real nice finish on them, like the tie rods and stuff.
It's gonna look dope.
Yeah.
It's gonna look crazy.
The wheels are already good, I think. You have to see. That's gonna be a fun video. That'll be a fun build. Then we'll get footage of it at PRI in the booth. It'll be like you guys are right there with us. So stay tuned for that one. Kill switch. We've put these on in 1,000 videos too. Most places where you race, kill switch is required.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up putting this as close to the grip as possible because we still got to put our brake on here. I always like to squeeze this in between the brake and the grip. Okay, let's hang the wheel. We've done these 1,000 times too. These are the axle hangers. So with the GT bike, you have the option of going live axle or dead axle with these. We have these in 12 mil / ½ inch, and then we have 5/8. Got all the hardware. Always check for burrs. These both feel pretty good. These can go on however, because this hole is centered, but I always like to get the hex, you know, kind of in the same shape. That looks good. So as you can see, I just have one of these axle adapters in here. It makes it easier. So you can put your spacer on this side, start sliding the axle through, do your spacer over here, and then bolt the other adapter on. Just makes it a lot easier. There are variances in these frames, very minute, but there are. That's just hard to get away from. So we supply these two spacers. The shorter is going to be your brake side. The longer is going to be your sprocket side. That's a general rule of thumb. You might need to shim a little bit with washers. So just pay attention to that. And you could always cut your own spacers if you'd like. So we're gonna go shorter over here. These new axle bolts that we have are awesome. They're not just your standard 1/2 inch bolt that you go buy from Home Depot. Those measure anywhere from 460 to 470 thousandths, which is way less than 1/2 inch. These measure anywhere from 490 to 495. These are a custom made 1/2 inch axle that we have made specifically for our Rascal mini bikes. So if you have to tap it through, I mean, that's why. They are a really good fit. It's not a press fit into the bearings, but when you're sliding through all 4 of them, it kind of is. So we got that. Put our spacer on the other side. Leaving this off makes it so easy to put this spacer in. Just slide your spacer in there, then put this on and bolt it down. Yeah, it's much easier to put these nuts on in there than it is to mess around with your axle, your tire, your spacers. The pain.
That spins better than I thought it would.
Dude, these spin incredible. Yeah, this is a good setup. Okay, what now, Burnster? Brakes? Yeah, brake first. These are the 8mm bolts. If you're wanting to get, you know, fancier ones or lighter ones, these are M8 by 125. Lock washer first, flat washer. Just getting it started. Same thing on the other side. You got your lock washer, then your flat washer. This will wear in. Once you ride the bike, the whole caliper will kind of center itself. If your spacing is off for some reason and you want it free spinning right off the bat, we send a lot of extra washers with this kit. So you could always throw a washer in between the caliper and the bracket. So if you want to bring your whole caliper this way, just put that in between caliper bracket and the frame. Now we just gotta fish our cable. Yeah, we'll do a little loop somewhere under the seat, like we do on the little Rascals. We're going to take this here. Actually, let's do that. Fantastic. Okay, let's pop this seat on. Do you remember what size hole? Come on, how many times have we done this together? 1/4 inch. I haven't drilled a hole through the seat yet. It's going good so far. And then you take one of your bolts, get the threads going. Ooh, that looks really good. So that sums up this build. As you saw, it was super easy, super quick. Everything went together really smooth. If you go down to the description below, you will see a link to this product page. It will be the GT roller. It will also have a full list of all the parts you get. It will have the list of all the tools that you need, which is minimal. And then it will also have recommended items. So it'll have like the header pipe, we'll have some clutches on there, chains, sprockets, basically everything you need from here to finish it out and actually go ride. So please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about this bike. Let us know if you already have one, how it's performing, what kind of times you're running, and make sure you stay tuned for video 2, where we will be choosing a color scheme, which will be Tillotson themed. We're gonna tear it down, powder coat it, have some stuff chrome, polished, and then build it back up for the PRI show in Indianapolis. So we will see you in the next video. Thank you.